Hello everyone, I thought I would start this video out on my patio today because it's absolutely stunning today. So some of you may have heard of a man by the name of Dr. Masaru Emoto. He is a researcher and alternative healer from Japan who has done several experiments on how the power of thoughts and intentions and how it can actually alter the physical reality. Now, you've heard me speak a lot of times on here about the power that words and thoughts have on our lives, so on some level I really do truly believe it. But being from the scientific background that I am, the one thing that every good scientist needs to believe anything is proof. So that's what I'm going to start to do today. I am going to actually do my own experiment to try to recreate Dr. Emoto's results of his rice experiment. So if you don't know what that all entails, I have 3 containers like this that I'm going to fill about 1/3 of the way full of rice and then cover with water and then seal them. So that way no outside, anything can affect it. And then one container is going to be labeled in a very happy, positive way and is going to receive happy, positive, gratitude-like thoughts and intentions towards it. One is going to be labeled in an angry, negative way, so nothing very positive is going to be put towards it. And then the third one is just going to be ignored. And then you do that for 30 straight days and then see what the results are. So with today being May 1st, I thought it's a good time to start, and then by June 1st we'll see what happens. I mean, I am really excited to see what the results will be, but I will admit there's a little bit of doubt in there, not too sure what's going to happen. So let's the experiment begin. Here are my 3 jars. As you can see, they are about, 1/3 of the way full of rice. And before I put the rice in, I washed them all out thoroughly. So again, to try to minimize any outside organism, probably getting in there and affecting results. So now I'm just going to add the water in. So just enough so that it's just covering. So I think that one looks good. And we'll just get that one going. And then the third one. And now I will seal them off and label them and get this started. You can see now that I have them all sealed off with clear packing tape to make sure it's perfectly sealed, and I now have their labels put on them. So this one is going to be the positive jar, so it's going to get lots of thoughts and words towards it that are, thank you and gratitude and showing appreciation and just thoughts of happiness and love towards it. Jar number 2 is going to be the lucky recipient of any negative thoughts and feelings and emotions. So a lot of hate and anger and feeling sad and annoyed and irritated and doubt is going to go against that one. And the third jar, being that this is the one that's going to be ignored, I'm going to ignore it so much by not even creating a label for it. So I'm now going to take the 3 jars and place them in 3 different areas of the house. That way, any of the thoughts and intentions that I'm sending towards one jar is not going to inadvertently go to a different one. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So let the 30 days begin. So here we are just past the 2-week mark, as today is May 17th, and let's take a look at what's happened so far. So here in, the happy, positive gratitude jar, if you look at the fluid on top, maybe hard to see, but it is, somewhat transparent. Light can still pass through most of that, and there's not much particulate matter at all. When we look at the more, the unhappy, angry, irritated jar, quite a difference. I mean, this one is turning bright yellow. There is a lot of particulate matter that is formed on the top, and it's very opaque. There's not much light passing through that one at all. And then when you look at the jar that is the ignored jar, it doesn't have, the brightness of yellow as of the angry, irritated jar, but it's very milky and opaque looking. Again, not much light showing through this one at all. So when we put them all side by side, you can see that there's definitely a difference happening in each jar. And I mean, the only thing that's different in them is the different words and intentions that I am putting towards them. So far, I'm finding this quite amazing that there is this much of a difference. So I can't wait to see what the next 2 weeks will bring. Well, today is June 2nd, so I'm a little bit late checking in. But my 30 days are now up for this experiment. And does anybody want to take any guesses as to which jar is which? Because you can see that there's definitely 3 very different results happening here. So no guesses? Okay, I'll tell you. So if I turn this one around, you can see that this one is the happy, positive jar, of which, I was sending a lot of thoughts and words of just happiness and love and appreciation and gratitude. And if you look, I'll slide this over here a little closer. I mean, you can definitely see some fermentation of the rice has happened, but for the most part, the water that's on top is pretty clear. There we go. You can, because you can see, through the fluid, through quite a ways, and still see all the rice kernels. And when you actually look closely at the rice kernels, they all still, look relatively normal. Nothing really changed with them at all. Like I say, there is definitely some fermentation happening because it is a slight particulate matter, but nothing compared to the other ones. Now, when I bring out this one, you can probably guess this is the not so positive jar. This is the one that was getting a lot of thoughts and words of just being angry and sad and irritated and annoyed. And I have to admit, on those times when, I was actually in a swearing mood, this is the one that got the brunt of it all. So, I mean, you just look at how bright yellow this water changed, and it is cloudy all the way through. Like, there is so much particulate matter. But the thing I find really interesting, and as I bring this a little closer, is look at the rice kernels. Like, they are absolutely disintegrating. It's like they're turning into a solid mass. Like, it's just, every day when I would look at this, I just thought it was so gross to look at it. Because like I say, I can't even explain what's, happening, like, all down here. Like, it is solidifying, and the rice kernels are just not rice anymore. So I just don't know what's happening there. But I thought that was a rather interesting result for that jar. And then this one, this is the ignored jar. So this one, like I say, it was just set aside. No words or thoughts or really anything got put towards it. I mean, I would give it kind of just a look and an eye roll every once in a while, but really paid no attention to it at all. And you can see that it is very murky, very milky looking too. And when you look, through all the rice kernels, like, they're not as perfect as the ones that were still in the positive jar, but they're not as bad off as the ones that are in the negative jar. So this is definitely almost like the middle ground between the two. But, what can I say? Like, there was actually a difference that a very noticeable difference. Let me just turn these around so you can see them again. Like, there's no disputing that, and the only difference, like I say, was the words and thoughts that I put towards it. So, like I say, from the scientific background, this is pretty good proof to me that what I'd always thought about how powerful our words can be, this sure shows it to be true for me. And like I say, if you're skeptical about this, because if you don't know me and can't trust that that I did this without adding anything extra to it, I suggest you do this on your own. Give it a try and prove it to yourself, the differences that can happen. And being the curious person that I am, I'm actually going to keep this going for a little while longer, just to see what happens in another month. So I'll give you an update later, but for now, this part of the experiment is done.